My girlfriend wanted closure with her ex, so they met up, but that one meeting unleashed a storm that put our whole relationship at risk. Now I'm left wondering if we'll ever be the same again? Hey Reddit. I'm feeling pretty lost right now. I've been dating my girlfriend, Emma, for a little over a year. Things have been great, and I genuinely thought we had a solid relationship. But a few weeks ago, something happened that's been weighing on me heavily, and I don't know what to do about it. Emma recently brought up wanting closure with her ex, Tom. According to her, Tom was her first love, and she felt like things ended too abruptly. She claimed it wasn't about rekindling feelings but rather about putting things to rest. I have to admit, I was skeptical, but I also wanted to respect her feelings. I didn't want to be the controlling boyfriend who says no to everything. I figured I'd give her the benefit of the doubt. So, after a long conversation where I reluctantly agreed, she went to meet him at a coffee shop. She assured me it would only be an hour or two, just a simple chat. But here's where things took a turn that I hadn't anticipated. The coffee meetup lasted 5 hours. 5 hours. And she didn't call or text during that time. I tried to keep myself calm, thinking maybe they just got lost in conversation. When she finally got home, she was different. Her mood was off, like she was deep in thought or something. She said it went fine but didn't go into much detail. I didn't want to press her because I figured she'd tell me when she was ready. But my gut was telling me something was wrong. Over the next few days, Emma became distant. She wasn't as affectionate, and we didn't talk as much. When I tried asking her about the meeting with Tom, she brushed it off, saying they just talked about the past. It didn't sit well with me, but I decided to let it go. But that was a mistake. I should have trusted my instincts because things were about to get even messier. Update. About a week after her meeting with Tom, I started noticing Emma texting more frequently. Whenever I asked her who she was messaging, she'd just say it was work stuff or friends. But one evening, she left her phone on the counter while she went to grab a drink, and a notification popped up. It was from Tom. He'd sent her a message that just said, "Can't stop thinking about that day." I felt like my stomach dropped. I didn't snoop any further, but I confronted her as soon as she came back. At first, she was defensive, saying it was no big deal and that Tom was just being nostalgic. But I wasn't buying it. I asked her if she had feelings for him again, and she insisted she didn't. She said they just had a deep talk, and Tom had brought up some good memories. She told me I had nothing to worry about, but at that point, I wasn't sure if I could believe her. Emma promised to stop messaging him, but her behavior didn't change. She still seemed distant, and it felt like she was holding something back. I felt helpless. Part of me wanted to believe her, but another part of me kept replaying that notification in my head. I started questioning if I had made a mistake letting her meet him in the first place. I talked to my friends about it, trying to get some advice. They were divided. Some said I should just trust her, while others thought I was being too lenient and that I had every right to demand more transparency. But every time I brought up Tom, Emma got defensive, like I was accusing her of something terrible. That only made me feel more frustrated, like she was hiding something. Another update. A few days ago, things reached a boiling point. Emma and I had been planning a weekend getaway for a while, hoping to get some quality time together. But the day before we were supposed to leave, she suddenly told me she wasn't feeling up for it. She said she was stressed from work and needed some time alone. That was a red flag for me. Normally, Emma would be excited about our trips, so this sudden change felt too suspicious. I pressed her on it, and after a bit of back and forth, she admitted that she had been thinking about Tom. She told me she was confused and needed space to figure things out. Hearing those words felt like a punch to the gut. I never thought we'd end up here, especially over a guy she claimed to be over. I told her that if she needed time, I'd give it to her. But I also told her that if she decided to keep pursuing any kind of relationship with Tom, I didn't think I could stay with her. It hurt to say it, but I knew I couldn't just wait around and hope she'd choose me. She cried and apologized, saying she didn't mean for things to get so complicated. I tried to put on a strong face, but inside, I was breaking. I wanted to understand her feelings, but a part of me felt betrayed. Was I not enough? Was our relationship worth so little to her that she could be swayed by a single conversation with an ex? These questions kept me up at night. And while I tried to convince myself that Emma needed this time to process things, the fear of losing her felt unbearable. So, now we're in this awkward limbo. Emma is staying at her sister's place for a few days to clear her head, and I'm here, waiting and wondering what the future holds. Part of me wants to call her, to fight for us, but another part of me wonders if I should just let her go. I don't know if our relationship can survive this. Final update. After spending a few days apart, Emma came back, and we finally had a serious, sit-down conversation. She admitted that her feelings for Tom had resurfaced. She said seeing him brought back memories and emotions she hadn't dealt with. She thought she was over him, but meeting him reopened old wounds. She told me she felt torn, not because she didn't love me, but because she hadn't fully moved on from her past. She kept saying she was sorry, that she never meant for things to get out of hand. I could tell she was genuinely remorseful, but it didn't make the hurt any less. We ended up agreeing that it was best to take a break. She needed time to sort out her feelings, and I needed time to process everything that had happened. Walking away from someone I loved because of a past relationship felt surreal. It was like losing a battle I didn't even know I was fighting. Since she left, I've been reflecting a lot on our relationship. I can't help but wonder if Emma was ever fully committed to me. Was I just a placeholder for her? Someone she loved but could easily walk away from if her past came knocking? I think what hurts the most is the realization that I might never have had her whole heart. Being with someone who had unfinished business with their ex is like trying to build a house on shaky ground. I convinced myself that her past didn't matter, that we were solid, but now I'm questioning everything. Conclusion: it's been a few days since our talk, and I'm still trying to come to terms with it all. Part of me hopes that this break will help us find our way back to each other, but another part of me wonders if this is the end. Looking back, I realize that maybe closure isn't something you get from a conversation with an ex, it's something you find within yourself. I don't regret giving her the space to seek closure, but I do regret how it all played out. Maybe I was naive, or maybe we were just never as strong as I thought we were. All I know is that, right now, I'm left picking up the pieces, hoping that someday, I'll find the closure I need too.